my vibrator died, but thank God for this Amber Alert, yeah. I'm about to take my pants off and go out using this Amber Alert, yeah. The kid was last seen in the SUV. I don't even know what that fucking means, cause I don't really know what most cars look like anyway, yeah.
Welcome to the Dollar Bill Show, episode 36. I've been thinking, man, I listened to so many Beach Boys songs in the past 24 hours, and I kept listening to that one clip that was him playing the piano just solo from Saturday Night Live, and I listened to that over and over because of just how amazing that he is, and just how great that music was. Like, it was all so positive, and it's just full of light, and we need that now more than ever. And it also made me really sad about his death, and I can truly say that he was a person that I cared about a lot more than I knew that I did, and was influenced by a whole lot more than what I knew. And the more I listened, the more I realized that, like, in the strangest and most awesomest way, he was teaching me, even when I was a baby. Like, he was teaching me about melody and the beauty of these songs. And it just hit me all at once that I was just like, he taught me about melody and all that. So whenever I became able to play chords on a chord organ, that it's just like almost as if I had no control over it, that I was able to create these beautiful melodies that I create. And I'm just very, very blessed at the way things played out, and to be able to experience that time and that beautiful music. And I think back, and like, I remember thinking it was so boring and it sucked, and be like going to my great grandma Gibson's house and being, it felt like I was stuck out there, but there was this little chord organ in the back bedroom, and like, me putting up, there was a sheet music of chords, and me putting that up and learning just how to play nursery rhymes, and then years later it turns in to me writing all of these songs. And the world is a better place because of Brian Wilson and the Beach Boys. I was talking to an old friend from school earlier, and he's been through a lot like me, and ostracized, and I can remember, like, when a bunch of shit went down with him, and I'm not going to mention any names, but because I don't know if he's comfortable with that, but his testimony really helped me out today, and I didn't feel so alone, because I went through a tough time just last night, and I spent an hour on the phone today with 988 because my therapist, I usually see my therapist over the phone, and him or my doctor both missed our appointments and didn't call me at all. And so I was just going along like, and see, what I do is I'm an addict, so I'm addicted to my work, like, or whatever, like looking at Instagram, all of it. Like, that's my new drug since I'm not on drugs anymore, or food. I can make anything my drug. But, and then I talked to a person over 988, and really we were like running the same circles, and I'm sure I've probably met this woman before, like going to a local meeting here because of the stuff we talked about. But it was so insightful, and it was a therapy session. I think for both of us it was a therapy session, but it got me out of my own head, and I felt so much better afterwards talking to her. And she also said some things that I needed to hear, that my normal therapist may not have would have said, because he just kind of lets me talk. So and hey, I'm grateful for him too. Like, he's been like an angel in my life, but I definitely have some things that I need to think about, and also some things that I need to step up and do, because I get so caught up in my own isolation and own way that, like, if somebody doesn't show up for a phone appointment or something, I just feel like it's a fucking day off for me. And that's not, you know what I feel like I got to stay home sick from school that day. So I'm not just going to, at the time you think you're fine. And, I've learned that too about therapy. When you don't want to do it, that's when you fucking need to. Like, definitely, that's when you need to. But anyway, we were reminiscing about, like, he was telling me that he thought that like he wished he would have hung out with me, but he thought that I was too cool, and like, and wouldn't want to hang out or something like that. And it was like, man, no, like, that, if you did think that, it's all, believe me, a facade. Like, yeah, I was always taught to dress nice and look nice and stuff like that, but inside was just like a Grand Canyon of fucking sh- dog shit imploding with a fucking band-aid holding on to it. So, like, no. And it's like, I'm a nerd at heart, man. I'm a Lord of the Rings guy. Um, and we were reminiscing though about one of my friends. He was older than us, a year older than us, and on his 18th birthday, they had like this big party for him. And this is West Virginia, so man, it's like, we're fucking professional drinkers and druggers, dude, from the time we're young teenagers around here. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, man. And so it was out in the country, and like, I remember I thought he was my buddy. I thought he was so fucking awesome because he was the only one out of us that could play all of the classic rock songs on a guitar. Like he was a fucking god to me because he could play Hendrix and fucking and Stairway to Heaven, and that was incredible to me at that time that he could do that. But I remember, like, so in normal fashion for somebody's birthday, like, we had a keg of fucking beer, big keg, and like, I remember smoking like 1,000 fucking Philly Titans and blunt and Optimos, and fucking in this. I remember a lot of it in this little ass camper that this old drunk guy had, and fucking, it was out in the country, out in Yawkey, West Virginia, where we had this party. And but I can remember, I felt like shit so bad, and you don't really get hangovers at that age, 17, but I felt like shit so bad. And I remember it was still dark, and like, this little old lady that was buddies with my friend's mom, she had a little bob haircut, and I can remember, like, we were all knocked out in this tent, probably only been asleep for an hour or something like that. But she poked her head through the door, and she goes, "Hey, psst, hey, y'all asleep? She goes, I just wanted to see if anybody needed some head or anything like that. And we were just like, no. Fucking, and then me and my other buddy, he was mad as hell. He was like, let's get the fuck out of here. And like we drove home in this little Fiero, man. I remember smoking like one of them big one. I can remember this shit like yesterday, smoking a big 100 cigarettes, and there was like a pile of fucking joint roaches sitting right there in the center console. And it reminded you of that, of the video for the Chili Pepper scar tissue, because it was just like we were out. It was just this desolate interstate out through Boone County, coming home, and it was just like that video. It reminds you. It's just like, what the fuck. I got me some of those things, and I'm gonna ask it some questions. Spirit, who had the best cheeseburger? Who had the best cheeseburger in the 90s? Was it McDonald's? What about Burger King? What about the big classic from Wendy's? Can you believe that? I mean, I'm not making this shit up. I am not making this shit up at all. Let's see. Okay. Who's the best rapper? Is it Biggie? Uh, what about Tupac? Is Tupac the best rapper? What about Kendrick Lamar? What about Dollabill? Dude, this thing, you cannot make it up, dude. You can't even fucking make it up what this thing is doing. Well, I'm going to ask it one more question. How many days have I been wearing this same outfit, Spirit? Is it 1 day? 2 days? Is it 3 days? Man, you can't make this up, man. I'm not going to ask it about these shorts. I'm not going to play. I'm going to save it today. I'm not going to hit you with a news story because everybody has enough on their mind and on their plate right now. And just know that, like, reach out to people because God works through people. I read scripture the other night and reached out to some people and did a lot of praying and asking Jesus to come and help me and to help me get through it. And he did, man. So peace and love. I love you very much. Have a great day.